What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stokastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Links, Likes, Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become a president of great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Morning, pretty light. Hit one over, did not hit the other over. So there you are. We head into the afternoon evening window. Cincinnati on that run line. I'm going to be sweating that one here. Ended up on a weird one. Matt Wallner under 0.5 hits plus runs plus RBI. So there's that. It was like plus 125. He's batting ninth. Maybe a platoon situation there for the Twinkies. My Twinkies, that is. But anywho, let's get ourselves on over to Tuesday's slate here. Monday, pretty darn light on purpose. Well, there are only 7 games. And then Chris Sale gets moved to Tuesday. Seems like a pretty important one, that's for sure. Seems pretty important to sign up at multiple sports books. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM and you want to support this program, you can do so down below. And then Odd Chopper. Of course, we'll talk a little bit of Odd Chopper later, but 15 games on the slate, every team in play. That's going to be said a lot this week. There's a lot of games this week. All-Star break next week. But we smashed the All-Star game, so we're going to do that again this year. Producer Jacob, hi, you're excited for that, right? He's like, let's get to the picks. It's always interesting because I see, Chicago Cubs in the morning, but here's the thing. They're not in the morning. It's afternoon. We're going to like the 6:35 Eastern, 3:35 p.m. I almost said Western, Pacific time zone. I should know that one here at this point. But anywho, we're getting ourselves Shota Imanaga, Dean Kramer. Now, there are a couple of different Chicago Cubs pitchers that this could end up being, and it really does matter who it ends up as, because Shota Imanaga, soft tossing lefty, well, not even that soft at this point in time, been pretty decent. He's outperformed expectations, my expectations for him, and many others as well. Didn't know what you were going to get, and obviously you're getting him healthy, and that's the key part, difference between Yoshi and him at the moment. Dodgers need a lot of help in the pitching department, but we're looking at ourselves with a lefty in Baltimore. That would be a huge upgrade for that, because tough to get out of that ballpark to left, but wind's blowing out and it is 90 plus degrees there in Baltimore, projected at first pitch at like 6:30. Gonna be a hot one. And then in the midday sun. I don't know. Santana was awesome. Carlos Santana, he plays for my baseball team too. But anyway, we got Dean Kramer on the other side of this one. Pretty decent stuff overall, but a 356 xWOBA is difficult at a 12.8% barrel percentage. A little bit problematic, but here's the thing. If it ends up being Imanaga, interesting. Jameson Taillon, though, oh boy, good luck, and it's going to be one of them, and I think you want to be in a little bit early on this one, because if it ends up being Jameson Taillon, which I think it's very live to be, you're going to see this thing swing from minus 152 to like minus 165, minus 170, because Baltimore destroys the souls of righties with a 206 ISO, a 118 WRC plus. So overall, I'm looking at a little mini, what you know about parlay, Baltimore money line plus the over of 9. If it ends up Imanaga, I will not be as happy, but again, I think it's probably 50-50 between who it ends up being here in this spot. You're seeing some teams take some liberty before the All-Star break, so pay attention. This is an interesting one. Ben Lively and Kenta Maeda, yet another play right off the bat that I'm kind of interested in backing. We've got ourselves Kenta Maeda, former Minnesota Twin. Salute, enjoyed. Actually, tenure wasn't very good with us. Pretty good with Dodgers. Long time ago, but 35.1% hard hit, 460 expected slugging, sub 10% barrel percentage, but it's still 9.8%, and lots of loft on this thing. This is going to be tough. We're here in Detroit. It's weird. I had the park factor screwed up where it was accidentally a progressive field. Whatever. I ended up fixing everything in my model, ended up being just fine, and well, wouldn't you know it, I still like lefty power to do pretty well in this one, and Ben Lively hasn't been too lively, but he's been all right. 303 xWOBA, 21.5% K rate, about standard, run-of-the-mill, 7.1% barrel percentage, decent enough. I just think this is an all right price to be getting Cleveland money line. And there's another like minus 150, minus 160 number I think jumps up a little bit later. I'll be sure to highlight that one for you where you could potentially, friends, attach it to it. Spoiler alert, it's Milwaukee. But keep watching the video as we talk Dodgers and Philly, and my, oh my, I'm a little bit surprised that this did not end up on the card, but it was kind of a little bit of an override by me. There's some huge pricing discrepancies here. There is an 8.5 at BetMGM at open. It's at minus 135. Then there's 9s sitting in the minus 115, minus 120 territory. And then there's 9.5s How insane is it that Zach Wheeler is the pitcher in this? This should tell you how crazy this weather is yet again. Now, what is the weather, Eric? Well, it's 90 plus degrees up there in the Northeast. Same thing as what we're looking at for Baltimore. We're looking at here in Philadelphia, and Philadelphia. They have the wind blowing out. In addition, 10 miles per hour up to 15 gusts. Oh boy, it's going to play small. Sorry, I had to get that on my phone. Anywho, we've got ourselves Bobby Miller here on the other side of this. Bobby Miller has frustrated me to no end. 462 expected slugging, 22.9% K rate, but a 13.8% walk rate, and giving up more hard contact. Again, 45% hard contact now, 11.6% barrel percentage. Oh, he's been so disappointing to some extent. Now there's no Harper, there's no Schwarber, but there is a lot of other dudes who are good at the hitting of baseball. So as I'm breaking it all down, got to tell you, even with Alec Boehm and Turner and Marsh and, Cody Clemens out there playing first, I still think this is an over if you're going to do anything. But I put 8.5/9. The minus 135, that half run could be very, very valuable when you just do range of outcomes. But I'm passing on this as is right now. A little bit of a manual override for me. I just like Zach Wheeler too much to go try to pick on him here. Although there's that Shohei Ohtani guy. Heard he's pretty good. I don't have a ton from this one. Carlos Rodon, Ryan Pepiot, two decent enough pitchers. The velocity's starting to come back up for Carlos Rodon. We've seen some decent spots in recent months from him, but Ryan Pepiot, this is a guy that I do like the pedigree of. We're starting to see some of the formerly of the Dodgers, ironically enough, a lot of former Dodgers in the early portion of this one. 10.4% barrel percentage. Not great to have when you're going to take on Judge and Soto, but they kind of hit no doubters as it is. Ben Rice, I'm really mad at you. Minus 160 to get a hit coming off of 3 home runs, leading off against Boston on Sunday night. That was painful, but Luis Gil had a nice comeback performance. That's more interesting than talking about this one. Tampa Bay money line, potentially for value, but need better than plus 110. And I don't know if you can see that. That's not better than plus 110. I'm a huge fan of this one. Cal Quantrill, Frankie Montas. We're going to the prop market, but starting just by talking about Cal Quantrill, the obvious thing is you get yourself out of Coors Field. Yay! But you're going into Great American Small Park with it playing extra small and hot and humidity. Again, the theme of the day. And a 266 expected batting average, 17.5% K rate, and a decent enough ensemble of guys where you can kind of make that lineup work. They end up calling up Rhys Hines. They have Edwin Rios there, formerly of the Dodgers. I feel like there's a trend going on here. Edwin Rios, when healthy, was an awesome lefty there. They got hurt. That was the end of that. But Cal Quantrill, we might go out of our way to try to pick on him, but some of the numbers don't feel like they're going to be all that advantageous. As for the other side of this one, you do get Nick Lodolo showing up here. You also get Frankie Montas as a potential starter. Now, I need you to hear me out on this. If it ends up being Lodolo, pass. This is going to be left on left. Not something I really want to be dealing with too much. But if it ends up being Frankie Montas, who is at the top of your screen, again, not announced, but teams trying to match up their starters, who's going to be in the All-Star game, who's going to be pitching where. Again, it's just teams knowing that they're going to get an accentuated 3-4 day break there on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, until Thursday. A couple of games start showing back up. But Frankie Montas is terrible against lefties. Absolutely abysmal. 230 expected ISO, 13.9 degree average launch angle, but it goes even higher up with his fastball. Yes, his fastball has nearly a 20% launch angle coming off of it, so pay very close attention to this one. Has to be Frankie Montas, has to be better than plus 300, and we're, of course, going to bet my guy, Ryan McMahon. 54.5% hard hit, needs a little help in the launch angle department, sub 10%, but he has just been wrecking the sowls of righties all season long. Only 9 homers, 12-degree launch angle, but 212 expected ISO himself. Square peg, square hole situation. Nothing square about this, my friends. An awesome spot to go hang out with a bunch of sharps. $14.95 weekly, $49.95 monthly in that premium Discord. But that's not all, friends. If you have the fantasy streets, so we're talking underdog, prize picks, all those goodies, we have a fantasy optimizer, tools that you're going to get access to for that same price. We also have the positive EV tool that you're going to get for that price. We're talking everything you know and love over at OddsShopper, the front to back, as well as all of the free tools, of course. All of that coming your way for $14.95 monthly, $49.95 monthly. But if you use promo code Lindy, get yourself 20% off of that. That becomes $12 for your first week or $40 for your first month. Awesome opportunity, expert picks, Discord, premium tools. Look at that. I can read a screen all in one package. Use promo code Lindy at the link below. Back to the picks we go. Oh boy. Oh boy. Another manual override. I've had 2 of them already here. Technically, that over for the Dodgers and Philly was supposed to be on the card. Took it off. We have enough other plays that I like a little bit more. And, well, this one technically surpasses that play in terms of expected value. You've got this right around the 3% mark. Some of you, that might mean something to you. Some of you don't care, and that's just fine. Joey Estes in this one going up against Brian Bayo. Now, there's only a couple of those lefties that are really going to show up and be in somewhat imposing, and that's probably not even the right way of saying it. JJ Bleday, folks, 333 xWOBA, 430 expected slugging. Pretty decent lefty there. I think that's kind of the end of the... Tyler Soderstrom, somewhat, 53.5% hard hit. Can smash it. You get pesky pull out there to right, but it's still a pretty difficult ballpark relative to what people think it is for lefty power. It's, about league average at the moment, but it's playing up for power this season, and doesn't really shock me. Again, it's in the Northeast, going to be hot, going to see some runs. And that being said, Joey Estes, you're going to have some issues. 451 expected slugging, 43.1% hard hit. And the biggie, 25-degree average launch angle, 32.9% fly ball rate. Looking at lefty power, there's no way we're going to probably get the value. Rafael Devers coming off of Double Dong Sunday Night Baseball. That's going to be the squarest of the square home run plays. One of my favorite things is like scouring Twitter and everybody's like, yeah, I've been in the lab doing the thing. And then it's like Devers and Judge to hit home runs. Like, anyway, this is supposed to be Oakland plus 1.5, and I'm making it a lean because I can't stomach it. We're talking minus 132 on the run line here. I would almost back them on the money line before I went that direction for it, but I'm just going to revisit this tomorrow. Something tells me money comes in on the Boston side. I think we're better off just sitting, waiting for that thing to pump inside of minus 120 and potentially adding it to the card then. The Grimace Mets. Yes, Jake Irvin, Jose Quintana. Oh, a lot of you know exactly what it is. Oh, Eric, you think Jake Irvin sucks. No, I don't think Jake Irvin sucks at all. That's not what the conversation was. What I said, if you were listening very closely, before when I was talking about Jake Irvin, and I just clumped him together with a pitcher who is not good. And it's ironic because, well, it's the same 2 pitchers going off again here. Jose Quintana in this one, 7 innings pitched. You end up with a 1-0 ball game. So we're running back the identical stuff here in this one. And nothing really changes for me here. Last time around, I was looking at the home team, Washington, where I'm like, hey, if you really want to do that, whatever. But I was looking at an over, thought the over made the most sense, and that's what we ended up firing. But in this one, I'll give a little bit of respect to what we've seen from Jake Irvin here, more so than everybody else. 2.80 ERA. Let me just tell you, the expected numbers are not that good. The 42.5% hard hit is a little bit scary, and an 8.5% barrel percentage in addition to this weather, probably not the droids you're looking for. These are not the droids you're looking for. But Jake Irvin, I'm not going to pick on him here, friends. Don't worry. New York Mets money line, that's going to be the lean for me here. I apologize once again to his friends and family. Could do like the Shaq thing. Wasn't really familiar with the game. Michael Wacha, though, Andre Palante. That's kind of ironic, but he's here. They have no idea what I'm talking about. Michael Wacha, Andre Palante here. Just pay attention because there's a couple of different props that could really, really stand out in this one. But St. Louis, it's ironic because this is generally where you see a ton of the heat, a ton of the humidity coming in this time of season. It's going to be a little bit wet. There's some rain that exists in the forecast here, and it's around 72, 73 degrees. Yes, with 85% humidity, but no real heat to get that ball going. And again, precipitation always kind of freaks me out here. Know the rules of your sports book. I can't repeat enough. The key to understanding how to really make money at something or like winning games is understanding the rules to a T, whether that's a golfer, Tiger Woods, when he's able to grab a bunch of spectators to roll out a rock, or, in basketball, understanding that I'm going out of I should chuck it off of somebody, or, understanding in football that, how to utilize your reviews, your challenges, things like that. Know the rules. If you know the rules, you have an advantage over everybody else who's doing the identical stuff. And, Well, in this kind of a spot, know the rules of your sports book, because if you're able to short something that ends up having a bunch of weather come in and you're able to get paid out on those props, that's going to be different. Now, FanDuel, usually 8.5. You got to get the full thing for action, and that pertains to the run line and everything else here. But Michael Wacha, Andre Pallante, I don't have a lot to talk about with them. I just want to talk about Bobby Witt Jr. A lot of people do. Right around a 50% hard hit, 413 xWOBA. Sal Perez as well, 375 xWOBA, 288 expected batting average. Both of these guys going to be in the All-Star game, as they should be. And you get to take on a soft tossing Andre Pallante here. He has that ground ball rate that's a little out of control, and that's where I want to point this out. No home run play, 2+ bases. I think there's ways to potentially correlate Bobby Witt Jr. along with Sal Perez or something else from this game. I'm just not sure what it is yet, and this weather freaks me out a little bit. So it's early. I need to look at Doppler in the morning. Mr. Radar, if you will, for the Spaceballs people. Next game. Oh boy, Yordan Alvarez. We don't know if he's going to be playing baseball here or not, but we got Trevor Rogers and potentially Ronel Blanco, not officially locked in stone here on the Houston side, but that's the one that's listed a lot of places, and you're getting a hefty price here. Let me just throw this out there. Ronel Blanco has been very, very good this season. Like, shout out Ronel Blanco for inventing a career out of thin air. Probably going to get paid some money. Some money is good. 34.1% hard hit. Really nice. 218 expected batting average. Has a no-hitter on the record as well this season. Great stuff. Minute Maid Park is playing up for lefty power, and you've got two guys. I feel like I just highlight them all the time now. Jesus Sanchez and Brian De La Cruz. Both of them just breaking the model here in Minute Maid Park. So pay attention to some of those numbers. There's another lefty in Yordan Alvarez for the Houston Astros who really matters, even left on left for me here against Trevor Rogers, because Trevor Rogers' neighborhood is not a good one. 45.1% hard hit, 277 expected batting average. Across the board, sad face, winky face emoji, sad face, crying emoji, sideways crying emoji, then crying emoji. I guess they're like laughing. Creepy. It's like Krusty the Clown shit. Sorry about that. Just pay attention to Alvarez. I would want to be on Miami money line and Miami plus 1.5, some varying degree, if we knew that Alvarez was going to be out, but I don't. He got hit against my Twins. Sorry about that, guys. And my Twins, speak about them. I am Twins. Bailey Ober, Eric Fehedi. Boy Meets World. Kind of want to watch that. Actually, I don't. It's really old TV show. It probably doesn't hold up as well, but it has nostalgia attached to it. That's always nice. I have a play attached to this one. It's probably my second favorite that exists on the board. We've got the Atlanta-Arizona one. That's going to be my favorite on the board. But Bailey Ober, Eric Fetty in this spot, both of them decent enough stuff where I think you can get by. Now, Bailey Ober, talk about it a lot. He's got the fly ball stuff, 9.1% barrel percentage, has some freaking naughty stuff that shows up from time to time, but 26.5% K rate, getting to take on a plethora of righties here. I think this is an advantageous spot. It's an advantageous spot to look at in under. Yes, Eric Fetty on the other side, having a really good season, 36.1% hard hit, 240 expected batting average, just a 21.5% K rate. But if you told me Fetty was going to have a 1.13 whip through a gigantic sample size, 106.1 innings this season, 106 and a third innings, I'd have thought you were crazy. That's 18 starts, 3.13 ERA to go with it. I get my Twins have been murdering righties so far here in the month of July, short month of July, and June, combining the sample size. Last 30 days, absolute murder, moved themselves up to 7th in baseball against righties, but not in this one. Give me the under for sure with these stars. Give me BetMGM too as well, because, well, they've had some of the best home run props in the entire industry these days. That is hard to beat FanDuel. FanDuel has predominantly, over the last 2 years of doing this, been the place I put a majority of my home run action. But BetMGM, I've been dabbling there a lot more lately. If you're in the premium Discord, where did we fire up the heel plus outs prop? Where did we fire up the last couple of home run props? Where did we fire up the Ben Rice failure of a prop? I tell you, it was at BetMGM because they've routinely had amazing hitter prices. So jump on over there, go to the link below, and then take advantage of this offer. Up to $1,500 on your first bet. If it wins, you keep the money, and if it loses, you get it back in bonus bets. So whether that's $20, $50, $100, up to $1,500, you can fire at the link below. Do so right now. Only for 21 and over. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Back to the picks we go. Hit the like button, subscribe button, notification bell as we talk Pirates, Brewers. Just the Achilles heel of my season. All they do is cause me pain and suffering because I just can't figure it out. But if it ends up being son of a priest, man, Quinn Priester potentially coming off the IL, hasn't pitched since June 2nd. In fact, that's the only game he's pitched. So yeah, 2 weeks that he got hurt immediately pitching against the same Brewers team on the 14th of May. I was paying attention to that one. Milwaukee didn't cover the run line here on the road. But anywho, he's back. Quinn Priester potentially getting the start, but they activated him off of the IL. It was a lat injury. I don't expect him to go crazy far into this, but still, I think this is a spot where you back Colin Rea. Now, this guy is just due for such regression. It's not even funny, but this entire team, I've said that all season long, due for regression. Colin Rea, 353 xWOBA, 284 expected batting average, 9.2% barrel percentage, just 18.1% whiff percentage. Everything across the board does not look good except for this, his ERA. His ERA is 3.34. He's got a 5.17 expected ERA. This just comes down to the quality of this Pirates lineup. It's not very good. O'Neal Cruz, you get by him. Jack Sawinski at times. If you go back in time in a time machine a year ago, he's tough to get by. 85 WRC plus. That's the 5th worst mark in baseball against righties. The guy just keeps doing it. So, and the Brewers just keep hitting up everybody. So what am I supposed to do? So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets or minus 164 in this case? I attached this, I talked about it earlier, to the Cleveland money line going up against Detroit. So 2 pieces for the price of 1. I'm not a big fan of that from time to time, but thought it was pretty fitting here in this one, purely because the Brewers hate me, and I'm not going to invest extra to back them here. Just give me that small play. I'll parlay them. What you know about parlay? We head to the West Coast for Max Scherzer. Roansy Contreras. One of these pitchers is not like the other one. I'll let you guess which. I guess they're both unlike the other one because Roansy is bad. Max Scherzer is good. That technically makes both of them different there. There you go. 44.8% hard hit for Roansy Contreras. 467 expected slugging, and the strikeouts aren't there, and the walks are there. Ooh, Roansy Contreras, you're going to run into a steep hill here. In fact, I'm just looking at a Corey Seager 2+ bases, and then the home run prop. So we brought up McMahon. I'm only looking at him to homer against Montas. I brought up Bobby Wood Jr. Got him on the sheet. 2+ bases, not looking to home run. This, I'm kind of looking at both. I think anything inside of minus 115 will be on the board for Corey Seager here. And then anything better than plus 265. Plus 265, that's a pretty short number. I think we get a little bit better here. Got one more hitter prop coming up later. But first, my favorite play of the day coming up next. Thanks, Atlanta. Chris Sale. Start moves from Monday to Tuesday. Now, there were a lot of people, including Eitan Shander. Some people want to give him crap from time to time. Eitan Shander, he is a real one, my friends. He locked in a bunch of plus 1.5 there on the Arizona side. Just reacted to news. It's not just for the NBA, friends. It is also something you can take advantage of if you know the rules of your sports book and knowing where you can place it, knowing where you can get that plus 1.5 and get plus money on it going up against Bryce Elder, who gets the start here on Monday. Now, that game is just about to get going, so I'm going to go watch that one here because, shout out to my boy. He was able to lock that in. Great value. Feel good about this. I feel really good about this, don't you? Feel really good about this. Chris Sale taking on Zach Gallen. I'm in love with the under here. We're talking about Zach Gallen and then the righty issue that has been the Atlanta Braves all the live long day. This entire season, it just seems like you're being a head against a wall if you're an Atlanta fan. 24.4% K rate, along with a 95 WRC plus in this economy with this roster. Come on now. Now, Matt Olson's still doing good stuff. 435 expected slugging, 46.7% hard hit, but the results just haven't been there as much. And Marcell Ozuna, he's been outrageous with a 426 xWOBA, but you got the strikeout rate up there for him. Austin Riley, Matt Olson. You have Ramon Laureano, probably won't be in the lineup against a righty, but it is what it is. Got Travis d'Arnaud. I mean, these guys are striking out well above clip. And Jared Kelenic leading off, 29.8% K rate. Ozzy Albies is back in the fray. Not the band, but you know what I mean. Zach Gallen has that hard hit, 46.7% hard hit, but 26.2% K rate. And then everything I talked about with Sale yesterday still applies. You're going to see 1.5 earned runs as the line predominantly across the industry. And we're getting 8.5 here right now. If I had to lock one thing, it would be this, but I put a half unit on it. I'm happy to live with that. I think you should be too. This thing is going to move to 8. I would be shocked if this didn't get to 8, like sooner rather than later. So bet it right now. That'd be cool. Also, the half run doesn't matter as much when you're talking about 8 to 8.5, but at the same time, feel really good about this play at this current price, minus 115. Good stuff. 2 games left. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bells. We talk Logan Gilbert in San Diego. Wales, you know what. And Adam Mazur. He's been not good. I apologize to anybody who's just listening to this on like 1.5x and being like, what? And then has me blaring a million miles an hour in your ear hole. Sorry about that. Anywho, Adam Mazur, one of the worst pitchers in baseball, but starting to figuring out ways to get 2 unders. We're like, I don't understand it. We're going to see this guy get obliterated in some spots. We did have that Milwaukee spot that ended up being ridiculous on my sheet. But either way, 35.6% hard hit, decent. 388 expected slugging, decent. But everything else sucks. 12.3% K rate, 13.9% walk rate, 342 xWOBA. I guess 3.3% barrel percentage is elite, so cool on that. But pitching in a ballpark that is playing way up for power, and I still don't get it. But Logan Gilbert, he's been better in the power department this season. 38% hard hit, 7.3% barrel percentage, everything across the board looking decent. So you know what I'm going to say? Adam Mazur, come on down. You've actually still figured out ways to avoid barrels, but you have to take on Cal Raleigh. 463 expected slugging, 331 xWOBA. Am I really going to do this? Petco playing number 1 in baseball. Number 1 for home runs. And Cal Raleigh's going to show up against a gas can and then a bullpen. Been pretty thin here. That Arizona series, you watched it, I watched it, we all watched it. It was not pretty. San Diego going to have to do some things if they want to be competitive in this NL West, but here you go. Cal Raleigh to homer, and then 2 home runs? Are we going to do this? I don't know. If I get better than plus 2,200, I'll do it. Oh, I should throw in plus 310 for Cal Raleigh. That's what we want, but I bet we get better than that. I got very, very little to talk about here other than a pitcher prop that I just like. Blake Snell comes off of the IL. He's been dinged up. He has not had a good season. I'm sure San Francisco really happy that they spent some money on him. What an acquisition. He's been hurt the entire time. There's nothing you can do about that. 0-3, has not won a game in a San Francisco uniform yet. 9.51 ERA, 1.94 whip, but he is coming off of it was 5 innings pitched, 9 strikeouts in his last outing at AAA, ramping up their simulated game, doing his whole thing, rehab outings, if you will. Oh boy, he's really, really good when he is on, but there aren't a ton of strikeouts that exist here on the Toronto side of things. There are strikeouts, however, available to you on the San Francisco side of things, and this is where a guy like Yusei Kikuchi, who's been just giving up hard hit, 10.4% barrel percentage, 45.3% hard hit, can maybe pitch a little bit less encumbered, where you know there's some real estate backing you up. Running out of real estate. It's a good song. Can't even remember who sings it, but it's acoustic. It's lovely. We've got ourselves Ramos, 26.5% K rate. Jorge Soler, 24.3% K rate. Matt Chapman, 23.2%. Lamont Wade Jr., probably going to be in this lineup even left on left, 22.6%. I think there's going to be something to mine out of Yusei Kikuchi from a ladder perspective, but for the time being, minus 130 over 5.5 Ks over DK, FanDuel, anywhere you can potentially get better than minus 140 on this play. Have it on your card. Happy Tuesday. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to the comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays that exist on the board for this lovely, splendid little Tuesday we have before us. Thank you, producer Jacob. You the best. You the best music. But under 30, that feels good. Under 30. Good job. Good job. Let's get ourselves the heck up out of here. Kyle Kerms, it was awesome to be back on that show on Monday. I'll be back on Friday. I'll be over there hanging out again. Greg Ehrenberg will be on there Wednesday. Check him out as well, my friends. Check out BetMGM. Check out OddsShopper. See you in that premium Discord. Until next time, I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Tuesday.